Good evening and welcome to the Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent for this coverage of match day 5 from Group I, which starts with Beijing FC against United City FC. Later on to follow is the match between Daegu and Kawasaki Frontale. Here's how the group looks. This, in truth, both Beijing and United City's best chance of getting a win, both of them with 1 point from 4 so far. Kawasaki and Daegu battling it out for top spot. Kawasaki know that victory tonight would guarantee them a place in the round of 16 of this AFC Champions League through finishing top of this Group I. Very hot and humid here. We're up into the 40s in terms of degrees Celsius, and even when the sun does dip down, it will still stay very warm indeed. So hydration key, and we have seen throughout these centralized group stages here in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, appropriate water breaks for player welfare, understandably so. Both of these teams struggling so far. The only points that either of them have managed in the group have come in the game against each other back on match day 1 on Saturday the 26th of June, now a week and a half ago. 1-1 draw over at Bunyodkor Stadium, not far from here. Both of these teams, as everyone has in this group, facing each other twice, once at Bunyodkor Stadium, once here at Lokomotiv Stadium. In a quote-unquote normal world, there'd be 2 games, one home, one away, one hosted in this case by the Chinese side, and one hosted by Vitawiv's United City in their home in New Clark City in Kapas Tarlac in the Philippines. But of course, not to be. Bubble life very much part of elite sport at the moment for understandable reasons, and as soon as it's safe and possible to welcome you all back in the stadium, can't wait to be doing so. Both teams, since that 1-1 draw, have really suffered, in truth. 3 straight losses for both of them, and in particular a pair of really heavy defeats for each of them in their last 2 games. United City losing 7-0 against Daegu, 8-0 against Kawasaki Frontale, and then when they met Frontale for the second time, did a bit better, losing 2-0. As for Daegu, they lost 3-2. As for Beijing FC, pardon me, they lost 7-0 to Kawasaki Frontale, 5-0 against Daegu, and then in the rematch against Daegu lost 3-0. So neither of these sides have scored a goal or got a point in the 3 matches that they've played since they drew 1-1 against each other on match day 1. And that really does need to tell you all that you need to know, pardon me, about how they've gone. Beijing FC, normally one of the real contenders for this competition, last year reached the quarterfinals, which was promising run, their best ever AFC Champions League performance. They lost 2-0 to the eventual champions Ulsan Hyundai from the Korea Republic, despite dominating that game. But they brought a second-string team here because they prioritised the Chinese Super League. When you add in this 15-day group stage and also the 2-week mandatory quarantine when they got home, the first team squad would have missed 6 Chinese Super League games. So Slaven Bilic, the first team head coach, and the first team have stayed at home to focus on those commitments. So it's a Beijing FC side for whom Guo Chunbo, their keeper, at 23 years old, is the elder statesman. And that tells you everything you need to know. United City FC, meanwhile, their first ever AFC Champions League campaign, still chasing their first win at this level. Led in the fixture between these 2 teams back the Saturday before last. Stefan Schrock giving them that lead with an outstanding goal, but then they were pegged back midway through the second half when Liang Xiaowen held a magnificent free kick with his left foot into the top corner over the wall to secure a point for this very young Beijing FC team. Kick-off now under 5 minutes away. Fantastic to have your company wherever you are joining us across the globe. You are very welcome. We're in the right place for Beijing FC against United City FC. Both teams with just 1 point from 4 games so far. Both cannot qualify for the round of 16, and this fixture between the two of them is probably both teams' best realistic chance of getting a win at this year's AFC Champions League group stage, because in match day 6, Kawasaki Frontale, the Japanese champions, face Beijing FC, having beaten them 7-0 in the reverse fixture, and United City have to play Daegu FC. The first time they met, Daegu put 7 past Anthony Pintus in the United City FC goal. So here come the teams. United City in all black with gold trimmings on the left. Beijing FC in all green with yellow trimmings on the right. Our referee is Ahmed Yaqub Ibrahim from Jordan, leading the teams out. And there'll be a mutual round of applause. Handshakes very much not the done thing these days for quite obvious reasons. Beijing FC, led by reserve team head coach Zoran Jankovic, make 5 changes from the side that lost 3-0 against Daegu 3 days ago in match day 4 on Monday, but stick with the 5 at the back shape that they've used throughout this tournament. But interesting change of using 2 strikers today. Yang Xiaowen joined by Shi Yu Cheng up front. Well, referee, as mentioned, is referee Ibrahim from Jordan, assisted by Oman Faisal Hamzan Obedia, also a Jordanian, Tanate Chuchen from Thailand, our second assistant referee. As for United City FC then, they made an AFC Champions League campaign, 7 changes from the team that lost 2-0 to Kawasaki Frontale on Monday. The only survivors, Pintus, Grierson, Ugas and Diesen. They stick with the 4-1-4-1 shape that they've used for the majority of this campaign. They have toyed with 5 at the back at points. United City FC now, due to a series of sudden unavailabilities, only able to name 5 substitutes today. And 2 of those are the backup keepers, Palovo and Beralik, so they only have 3 outfield players to call on from the bench. Stefan Schrock rallying the troops, a real leader of not just this side but football in the Philippines, arguably the finest Philippines player of modern times. 34-year-old who's recently signed a coach and playing contract, a player coach contract for 3 years, to the great relief of United City fans. And those young Beijing FC players getting the chance to represent their team on the continental stage, which is an opportunity few of them would have expected in truth, but the way the world is currently has presented them that chance. Both teams will be looking at this game as probably their best realistic chance of getting a consolation win at this year's competition, ahead of a pair of very difficult fixtures for each of them on match day 6. Off and underway here at Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Both of these teams with just 1 point from 4 games. Neither of them have scored or taken a point in their 3 matches since the 2 of them met on match day 1. And these teams shared a 1-1 draw. Zoran Jankovic on the touchline for Beijing FC. Reserve team head coach here because Slavan Bilic and the first team back at home in China Pia. It's Beijing FC pretty much straight from the kickoff, worked their way through, and they've scored inside the first minute. It takes just 40 seconds. And Jiang Wang Hao slides it into that far corner. What a goal, and what a moment for this Beijing FC young side. Just 21 years old, Jiang Wang Hao. It's his first ever senior goal, and he scores it in the AFC Champions League. What a moment for him, and what a moment for Beijing FC. They've really struggled in this competition, but finally they have something to celebrate. In front, inside the first minute. Lovely move and a great finish as well, in off the post. Nothing Anthony Pintus could do about it. So Jiang Wang Hao puts Beijing FC in front. He made it 40 seconds on the clock when he did so. Plenty to think about for Jason With. United City almost go straight up the other end and score. Schrock. Off the start to this game. Flips one in towards Marinon, but overhit. June. Foot on it from William Grierson. Interception from the defender. See Peter With just on the touchline in the bottom right corner of your shot. Englishman assisted by league winner in the Philippines as a coach, Frank Nusakan, who lacks the necessary license to coach in a club continental competition, which is definitely a contributory factor to With being brought in at the end of March with this campaign in view. It's been a steep learning curve for United City FC. So here goes Yu Jun, slides it through. Chance for Tishuan. Oh, lovely shimmy. Still going, and finishes it off. What a composed, cool finish from Long Tishuan. And inside 4 minutes, Beijing FC lead 2-0. What a start. Extraordinary. Little flick on from the head from Tiachi, and a great ball in behind by Yu Jun. But how composed and calm was Long Tishuan. Cuts inside here, and then goes round Pintus as well, and smashes it in. What a start to this game. They've scored more goals in 4 minutes than they had in the previous 5 AFC Champions League matches across this campaign. Long Tishuan makes it 2-0. So plenty to think about for United City FC, who would have been probably targeting this game as much they had as much, if not more, chance of getting something out of than any other game in this tournament. Dominated the first meeting between the two teams, United City, and proved to be a 1-1 draw. Xiao Wen's goal for Beijing FC from a free kick was their only shot on target all game, which gives you an idea of just how one-sided it was. Darwon. Pintus. Neither of those two he's conceded early on here. He's now conceded 20 goals in this tournament. Beijing FC breaking their goal drought in style. It's their first AFC Champions League goals since match day 1 in that 1-1 draw against United City. Ruthless, 2 shots on target, 2 goals. These teams desperate for a bit of confidence after a horrible run of form. A penny for his thoughts. Peter With is going to have to call on all of his extension coaching experience to turn this around. He's been a regular presence in Southeast Asia. Club spells with Bangkok Bank and Songkla United, as well as working as an assistant coach of both Thailand and Indonesia national teams. It's a name that English football fans from once upon a time might remember as well. His dad, Peter With, was Aston Villa's record signing in 1980 for £500,000, which back then I can assure you was a lot of money. Going on to win the league championship and the European Cup for Villa. By Omin Nazari, nice flick from Marinon. Schrock. Oh, that's lovely interplay between Schrock and Marinon. And back across, Marinon missed it. And Dizon couldn't make good contact either. Easily United City's best attack of the game. It's been a bit like a basketball match so far. Both teams attacking almost with abandon. What that was from Long Ti Xuan. He was maybe attempting a shot with Pintus off his line. There was nobody ahead of him. Just joining us a bit late. No, the scoreboard's not wrong. It's already 2-0 to Beijing City FC. So we see a foul from Ti Xuan, who scored the second. Chen Wang Hao with the first after 40 seconds of play. And Long Ti Xuan with the second inside the first 4 minutes. Battle in midfield. The falls to Peter Minagishi, who loses it. The team's really established control or possession for long. Both defences have looked pretty shaky. Nice touch from Long Fei to keep it alive. It's under very aggressive pressure from Dizon. Actually results in the free kick. Darwin certainly won the throw. Zoran Jankovic in there appealing for it too. And just being told to calm down by Saudi Arabian fourth official Mohammed Khalid Al-Hulish. Too much on the ball forward, gathered by Guo Bo. I'm sure will, like any good goalkeeper, have an eye on the first AFC Champions League clean sheet, which could be obtained by him today. It's the back of the head of Longfei. Schrock. Aranon loses control. Here comes T Long. Chiachi. Now Minagishi. Perfectly willing to run, and they're giving him the space. Schrock. He's still going. Stopped by Shou Wen. He's in with the foul. Pardon me, Omin Dazari on Chen Wang Hao. Scored that first goal. It should be said that whilst it is the second string Beijing FC side, it's not the first time that this situation has happened. There's a very similar collection of players to this group playing in the AFC Champions League group stage here. They had to play in last year's Chinese FA Cup while the senior team were in the AFC Champions League bubble in Qatar. The League One Chinese League One High Flyers Chengdu Rongcheng 1-0 in that competition. Mainly went out against top-flight opposition, losing 3-0 to Wuhan. Dongdong. Side for Yu Jun, trying to jiggle his way through. Shoved over by Minagishi, no foul given. For Ibrahim keen to let play go on wherever possible. He's saying no foul for any of those three incidents. Players fall into the ground all over the place. One still down. Minagishi. Almost quarter of an hour gone. Beijing FC not happy. They're still down to 10, but it's not a head injury, so United City FC aren't under any obligation to put the ball out of play, but they eventually choose to do so. Ibrahim brings it back. Chiachi is down, who got the assist to make it 1-0. Just bumped into Stefan Schrock's pretty strong forearm. When you're running at pace into that, you can see why it hurts. That was Wang Hao's goal for 1-0. And this T Shuan's to make it 2. Jubilation for them. And unless you're Anthony Pintus, or of a United City FC disposition, it's hard not to feel happy for this very young Beijing FC side. They've earned nice moments like that, had to persevere through a very tough run of fixtures, as have United City. Both of these teams shown to be significantly weaker in this group than Kawasaki Frontale or Daegu, the other two sides in it. So since these sides met for the first time on match day 1, they've both suffered 3 pretty heavy defeats. Marinon inside. It's a great ball in behind for Deason. Didn't have anyone to really aim for in the box, didn't get a good connection on it. Knocked out of play. City FC at this level for the first time, maybe AFC Champions League playoff stage in 2018 and 2020, and the preliminary stage in 2019, but this is their group stage debut. Talked about representing not just themselves and the club, but the nation as well. A proud moment for football in the Philippines. Is out again, and it is Jiang Wang Hao who is down for the second time in a matter of moments. Took a blow from Stefan Schrock, and then this where gets caught by Bienvenido Marinon, the striker running back. Not a pleasant one for the midfielder, who nursed forward in the 42nd of this game to make it 1-0. Bienvenido Marinon is often key player for United City FC. He's been starved a bit of service throughout a lot of this competition. Normally known for his near telepathic link-up with Stefan Schrock. Marinon finisher, Schrock the provider. It's been one of the defining features of this side's success. The 2020 Philippines Football League, a shortened campaign due to COVID. So, 4th straight title, very much confirming what was somewhat already known, which is they are the premier club in the Philippines. Comprehensive, scoring 25 goals in 5 games, conceding just 3, although they did suffer 1 defeat after they'd already secured the title. One thing that you would say has harmed United City is that a lot of the players who aren't internationals, a decent portion of their squad came into this tournament having not played since the back end of last year when securing domestic league title. Most of their opponents are in the middle of their season, so have already been playing regular football, have had that match fitness. Head coach Peter Witt has spoken about how preparation has been difficult and a bit different because of not having an ongoing season. They've had 4 weeks to try and work their way up to match fitness, but it's been a bit like an international tournament with games every 3 days, very intense schedule. First yellow card of the game. That's Amin Adam Nazari, goes into the book. Free Ibrahim, generally one of those that likes to avoid cards if possible. That's Sean Patrick Kane, pardon me. First real set-piece chance for either side in this game. Teed up by PHI. Kept alive by Marinon, who wins the throw. Negishi has found some space out on this left wing, but lacked a bit of support. Down one. Negishi. I mean, Adam Nazari. Schrock. Not the worst ball in. Put away by Yang Shewen, who's one of Beijing FC's best players in this competition. Schrock once more. Might go himself this time. Instead looks for Marinon. Shot on turn blocked by Shewen. Still trying to find a route through. No foul on Marinon. Seemed to be sort of awkward coming together of legs, really. Nothing more or less than that. Marinon up against PHI. It's one of those. Marinon's trying to shoot and he sort of ends up kicking the foot of PHI, I think. Yeah. You can see why that hurts. PHI very much coming off worse of the two. And PHI, who only turns 20 in August. Just over half of this Chinese side, Beijing FC's squad here, teenagers, because of the first team being at home. The first team who've had a mixed start to life in the Chinese Super League this season. They did qualify for the AFC Champions League by finishing third last season, but this season hasn't necessarily gone to plan, you'd say. First team in the new season that started not too long ago so far, with 2 wins and 2 losses. Defeats against their big rivals Shanghai Shenhua and also Shanghai Port, both away from home. Did win 2-0 at home against Dalian Pro and Wuhan FC. It was 2 in Chinese League, Chinese top flight, reach the group stages of the AFC Champions League next season. The third place team reaches the playoff round, and then there's a spot in the AFC Champions League for the Chinese FA Cup winners. Side who've qualified through that means in this current draw, Shandong Luneng. It's Ran Yankovic in conversation with fourth official referee Milian Hoish from Saudi Arabia. It's his side chase a third goal. Long Ti Shuan will be trying to win a corner and manages to do so. Excellent hold-up work from the striker. He'll be full of confidence after his goal that made it 2-0 in just the 4th minute. First corner of the game for Beijing FC, and straight into the hands of Anthony Pintus. Pintus tries to launch a counter-attack. Great touch around the corner by Marinon. Spread wide for Minagishi. Needs support. That's a good ball back to Marinon. He's just hustled out of it. And then that's late from Adam Nazari. Just relieves the pressure. Here come Beijing FC, wanting more goals. Instead it's Schrock. Stefan Schrock needs a bit of support here. Over the top for Minagishi. It's awkward and dealt with by Dong Dong. Minagishi get a second chance. Nazari's help it on. Adam wearing 93, Umid wearing 10 for United City. press on here from men in all black. It has forced the error. It's good work from champions of Filipino football. Sinon, with Nazari, Darwan, Marinon, heavy touch, but he's got the free kick. Rantilong with the foul, and this is in a very good shooting position for Stefan Schrock, who can be deadly from situations like this. Tilong can't believe it. Oh, he's just snapping at the heels of Bienvenido Marinon, who made the most of the contact, but definitely seemed to be contact. Ahmed Nazari is lining this up. I'm a touch surprised. It normally is Stefan Schrock, their captain, who's over dead ball situations. Nazari. Now Minagishi. Just over. It was dipping, but not dipping enough. Sat up invitingly for Hikaru Minagishi to hit it. Certainly wasn't a bad strike either. Given away by Omid Nazari. Shock's in there fighting for it. Back by Adam Nazari. Minagishi through the lines, gives it away. It's been quite a frantic game. Both sides very willing to press high up the pitch, risk leaving space in behind. Marinon through the legs, clever. Minagishi. Schrock, patient build-up. Omid Nazari to hit one, drags it wide. Testing times for Peter With. On the Thailand League with DEC Terry Sasana, also coached Singapore's Home United amongst a wide range of experience in this region, the Englishman. He's had a really challenging campaign. Some of these players hadn't played since October until the start of these fixtures. Schrock in, cross deflected. It's good composed stuff from Yu Jun. Trying to play their way out of trouble here. They played their way into trouble. Marinon. Great chance. Fluffed his lines. It's United City's star striker, and they're right to probably expect a bit better of him from there. Does hit his teammate, but the shot was going straight at Guo Chunbo. Crossfield by Adam Nazari. Great ball. Finds Diza. Bugas. Nice ball inside from Bugas. Omid Nazari. Can't quite find an all-black shirt. Defence to regain the momentum. United City pressing high here, and it's working well for them. Another foul on Marinon. This time by Xu Dongdong, who's eager to get his opponent to his feet. Good sportsmanship, though. might suggest that it's also to do with trying to avoid picking up a yellow card and feeling like the longer opposition player stays down, maybe that influences the referee's choice. Schrock's ball in, and a little flick header off the outside of the post and wide. Well, that is the closest United City FC have come. I mean, Adam Nazari in there sniffing. It was clever, he knew exactly what he was doing, just using the pace that Stefan Schrock had already put on the free kick. Again, United City pressing high. They've got little to nothing to lose in this game, really. Neither do Beijing FC, really. Both teams are 1 point from 4. Neither of them will be going through to the round of 16. Kawasaki Frontale with 4 wins from 4, sitting pretty top with 12 points. Daegu with 3 wins, and then that 3-2 loss against Kawasaki in their first game, so they have 9 points. Those teams will meet later on. But now here come United City, blasted over by Kurt Diesen. Just got a bit of space and got a bit too excited, leant back, and the chance is gone. Jumbo happy to watch it sail harmlessly over. Again, United City having real success with this high press. It's changed the momentum of this game in the last 10 minutes. That's a really poor throw-in to give the ball back to Beijing FC. Wang Hao wins the free kick. Late from Adam Nazari. Good spell this for United City FC, and you feel like if they can just grab 1 goal back before half-time, that really does shift the momentum of the game and of the half-time team talks that will follow. Give this team just a kick of self-belief that they need, like any side you could imagine, who've already conceded 20 goals in the tournament and scored just 1. Foul by Chelo Bugas. Foul on Yang Shou-wen, the 19-year-old centre-back, who's amidst the chaos of some difficult days for Beijing FC, being one of the more impressive performers in eyes of myself and others. A real star to keep an eye on in the future. And now Schrock. As well to keep hold of it under very aggressive pressure from Yu Jiaqi. Schrock, who was born and raised in Germany, Bundesliga experience with 1899 Hoffenheim and Eintracht Frankfurt. Joined United City FC after an initial loan spell from Greuther Fürth. Side flag up, no video assistant referee system at all in place here in Uzbekistan for these AFC Champions League group stages, so it is very much the on-field referee team's decision is final. And of course, this by no means the only game going on today. Kawasaki Frontale versus Daegu follows this fixture, and 2 other games for you in the AFC Champions League too. Earlier on, we saw PJ Clapham United FC squeeze past Kaya by 1-0. Right now, in that Group F also going on is Sun Hyundai against Vital, which is 0-0 with that match kicking off at the same time as ours. Sun Hyundai very much comfortably through to the round of 16, the defending champions. Of course, plenty of football going on all around the world at the moment as well. Copa America final to look forward to at the weekend between Brazil and Argentina. It doesn't get much bigger in that part of the globe. And then Italy against England in the finals of the European Championships were delayed by a year after being postponed last summer due to coronavirus. With Nazari, it's the right idea, the wrong execution, and Schrock puts a thumbs up for what was being tried. Maybe Beijing can cause some problems on the break. Good tackle by Amin Adam Nazari. Schrock doesn't get the 1-2. Runs for Marinon though. Has options. One of them is Bugas. Bugas in. Too close to Guo Chunbo. United City FC will want to score any time. That's blatantly obvious, but want to make the most of this good little run they've had in the game, where they've been pressing high successfully and dominating the play. Beijing FC, meanwhile, will feel like if they can just resist through to half-time, they get 15 minutes to rest and regroup. Ticks off another milestone on the way to what could be this very young group's first win in this AFC Champions League group stage this year. Side that's really struggled in possession, and when United City have pressed them high, they've looked pretty vulnerable. Statistics bear that out. They've had the lowest average possession of any team in the East Asian group stages this year, just 29% coming into this game. Minagishi still going, really going the long way around. Goes back the way he came. Schrock might need a bit of width here to unlock this deep set Beijing FC defence. Marinon has a go straight into a wall of green. FC until today had really struggled with creativity as well. They had the fewest shots of any team, fewer passes of any East Asian team this season, but below that all, apart with 2 goals in the opening 4 minutes here, Tim Wang Hao and Wong Ti Xuan. So they've really got something to protect now. They do seem pretty intent on sitting deep and playing on the counter when those chances come up. So Minagishi's fouled by Dong Dong. You see, Minagishi wants a yellow card. Looks like referee Ibrahim is going to let Dong Dong off with a talking to, but nothing more. Into the last 5 minutes of normal time at the end of this first half. Great angle for Schrock to whip this one in. It's a great cross as well, and almost turned in by Marinon at the far post. Another good flick on by Amin Adam Nazari. Just too much on it for Marinon to guide it in, and half the deficit. Again, United City press high. Beijing FC forced to go long. United FC, as a result, get the ball back. They did dominate possession in the run of the game when the sides met in match day 1. And they've had 65% of the ball in this first half. What will be frustrating to them is still haven't yet had a shot on target. Maybe that can change here. Schrock Digs out a good cross, and the volley at the far post is wide. Another chance goes a begging. They still haven't tested Guochun, but Cholo Bugas this time trying his luck. Teasing cross from Schrock, begging to be hit. Wasn't a bad connection from Bugas, just got his angles wrong. Man on. Again, Beijing FC with all 10 players back behind the ball. Minagishi, almost. Fernanda from Darwon. It's good skill from Wang Hao. I do feel like if Beijing FC could somehow get a third on the break, wouldn't quite be game over. Couldn't say that with absolute certainty, but close to. Foul on Xia Longfei. Again goes long with United City pressing pretty high. United City, who been through a fair bit of change recently, formerly known as Negros until 2019, when they had a domestic double and an unbeaten league season, but also a lot going on off the field. Pandemic led to the club's collapse of its association with Cereslina, the bus company owned by Leo Ray Jansen, who was then the club's owner and chairman. Players' contracts were terminated, and it was renamed last year after takeover by Emirati Philippine sports marketing firm MFC Sports Asia. And also managed to get 16 of the previous 21 players back. So it comes Dizon just overrunning it. That's been the problem for United City. Same problem when these teams met back on match day one. A lot of possession, but just lacking that cutting edge and that composure in the final third of the pitch. Contrast to the ruthless way in which Beijing FC have scored with only 2 real attacks that they've had in this game. Adam Nazari has his pocket picked. It's a 4-on-4 if they can work this quickly. Xu Cheng. It's a great ball for Wang Hao. Just couldn't quite bring it down. Minagishi. Spread wide. Bugas. Nice ball inside. Man on, waiting for it. That's good aggressive defending from Ruan Ti Long, acting as the stopper. Out to meet the ball as the centre half. Now here go Beijing FC looking for number 3. It's fallen for Tishuan, and he finishes magnificently, but the flag was already up and the whistle had already gone. Lovely left-footed strike from the man who made it 2-0 in just the 4th minute, but as he was aware, even when he was hitting it, wouldn't have stood. Into the 2 minutes minimum added on at the back end of this first half, and Beijing FC will be very happy with their work in this first period. They've got the 2 early goals, and they've consolidated that early lead through keeping their sheet clean despite a bit of pressure from United City. From the Philippines will be most disappointed with the fact that for all their good work since going 2-0 down, still haven't had a shot on target, still haven't given Guochun anything to worry about too much. Schrock in behind for Minagishi. Decent ball in and headed over by Marinon, but was just a bit behind Bienvenido Marinon, so he had to sort of jump backwards to try and get there. That meant he lost any power out of the header. Did have the run from behind him of Cartesian, but unsure of what was behind him, tried to take it himself. Could well be 3-0. And that's fantastic goalkeeping from Anthony Pintus, keeping United City alive. Had that gone in from Xie Longfei, I feel like it might have almost been curtains at half-time for United City. They are just about in this game. They are in all sorts of trouble. 2-0 down against this very young Beijing FC side. The Imperial Guards, to their great credit, holding out, having been 2-0 up, withstanding quite a bit of pressure after Tian Wang Hao put them in front with just 40 seconds on the clock. And Meng Tishuan made it 2-0 inside 4 minutes. Score at the break then at the Locomotive Stadium in Tashkent. Beijing FC 2, United City 0. Welcome back to the Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent. It's the second half of the first match from match day 5 in Group I. Very young Beijing FC side with a 2-0 lead at the break that was established inside 4 minutes of play. Tian Wang Hao scoring after just 40 seconds. And Nong Tishuan grabbing the second. A really big moment in the lives and footballing careers of many of those players in green and yellow. The vast majority of this squad are here in Uzbekistan for the Chinese team being teenagers. The 2 goal scorers themselves, Wang Hao 21 and Tishuan just 20 years old. As for United City, in black, desperate to try and find a route back into things. Both of these sides, remember, with just 1 point from their first 4 group games, that coming against each other when they drew 1-1 in the first match day back on Saturday the 26th of June. Referee Ibrahim from Jordan just waiting the nod to get things underway for the second period. United City dominating possession in the first, yet still not able to manage a shot on target. They need to be more ruthless in front of goal if they're to try and mount a comeback in their first ever AFC Champions League campaign. So United City in all black, attacking from left to right in this second period as we look at things from our commentary position. Beijing FC shooting from right to left. Two difficult sets of fixtures for this pair of teams. Waiting on match day 6, Kawasaki Frontale, the Japanese champions, playing Beijing FC, and then United City face Daegu FC. Both sides lost heavily in their first meetings against those opposition. It's a double round robin, everybody plays everyone twice. 6 games packed into just 2 and a bit weeks for all of these teams. I mean, Adam Nazari nearly makes a break. Stopped just in time by Ruan Ti Long. Flicked on cleverly by Tishuan. Pintus has to play sweeper keeper. Heavy touch from Nabichang Mohamedi. Cut out well by Wang Hao, then overruns it. Hugas, little ball in behind, it's too much on it. It's just about seen out for a goal kick by the 19-year-old centre-half Liang Xiaowen, who has pressed across these group stages and did so again here. Just used his body well. His body in between the man and the ball in a perfectly legal way to see it out. United City FC as well, with only 3 outfield players on the substitutes bench, and then 2 backup keepers, so it's going to really limit their tactical flexibility and ability to get fresh legs onto the pitch too. But 5 substitutes allowed per team, but it's not much good if you have only got 3 outfield players available to come on. Beijing FC meanwhile with a full bench of 10 to choose from. It is very much they who hold all of the cards right now. Dong Dong has to go long with the throw due to lack of options. Beijing FC, who've got no shortage of impressive history. Won 2 Chinese Super Cups, 5 Chinese FA Cups, 5 GA League titles, 1 Chinese Super League title in 2009. And they were 3rd in the AFC Asian Cup Winners' Cup in 1997 to 1998, after being founded earlier on in the decade. In 1992 as one of the founding members of the first fully professional top-tier league in China. Bugas loses out and then wins it back brilliantly. Foul given for the initial tackle, I believe, from referee Ibrahim. It's a great recovery run from Chulo Bugas against Abichang Mohamedi. Both these teams so far in this Champions League group stage. Beijing FC trying to avoid 4th straight loss in the competition for the first time ever in their history. It would be a real shock if they didn't manage to do that now. And with Nazari, skips past one and does force a save from Guo Chunbo, who's frustrated with his defence, that being a bit too standoff in their attitude. Chunbo just wasn't sure on the angle whether this was going in. He decided to make sure, fingertips it wide. First corner of the game for United City. In from Schrock, and Chunbo slightly unconvincing at the near post, but he does just enough. City hunting for the first goal since Schrock's magnificent strike back on match day 1. On match day 5, they've nearly bundled it in, still in there, and they've won another corner, but they could have had so much more. Well, in fact, it will be a free kick, and Kurt Diesen is down as well. Not something you want when you have limited options on the bench. It's in some serious discomfort. It's really pinging around the area. It's a good double block, it seems, looking at that replay from Tian Wang Hao. Not sure necessarily how much he knew about it, but effective nonetheless. United City making all the running early on in this second half, and they grew into the first after that awful start. Minagishi, Schrock, nice layoff. Minagishi's cross comes to nothing. Schrock beaten to it. Even Long Ti Shuan, who seems to be playing as the lone striker now for Beijing FC, is very much stuck in his own half. First substitution for United City FC, and it's an enforced one. He's in serious discomfort. And that might well be the end of his tournament as well, when you remember that match day 6 is just 3 days away in this relentless schedule. And is United City's final of the campaign, and they won't be going any further. Bugas's ball in, almost ran for Schrock. Mark Hartmann coming on for Diesen, another wide midfielder, so it's almost certainly a straight swap. It remains to be seen whether they might try and change formation to force the issue, United City. swiftly after United City and Beijing in making their first substitution. Tian Wang Hao, who took a couple of bad heavy knocks in that first half, comes off though. Seems not overly chuffed about it. Scored the opening goal after just 40 seconds with an easy run and an excellent finish in off the post. So when Feng is on. So both sides able to make 4 more changes. Want to manage their bench a bit better than they did last time out, Beijing FC, where they made all 5 of their substitutions by the 70th minute and ended up playing with 10 after an injury that came later on in the game. Left themselves quite vulnerable, needlessly. Bugas. Beijing FC will be very content with this start to the second half. They've absorbed another 10 minutes or so of the clock. 10 minutes closer to first victory of this AFC Champions League group stage this year. Long Fei battling through and doing well. Eventually fouled by Nazari. Not able to get at the ball, and so instead decided to have a few bites at the man, Nazari. FC for once going on a high press, urged forward by head coach Zoran Jankovic. You can see at the bottom of your picture in all grey, looking to try and box United City in. Hasn't worked. Nice chest from Schrock, and then good pass from Hartmann. Minagishi still going. Nazari. Effort from distance, and that's a decent save from Guo Chunbo to his right. Struggling to find a way through United City, so instead go for the long-range option. Mark Hartmann doing a decent dipping strike, and it is finally their first shot on target of the game in the 57th minute for all the possession and pressure that they've had. Schrock's corner. Have to settle for a throw. Bugas. Marinon. Space here for Kane. Now Grierson. Just a little trip on Amin Nazari. This is another free kick in shooting range. In the first half, it was Nazari who smashed it into the wall. Just a touch surprised Stefan Schrock wasn't used. And Schrock is over this free kick, as is the substitute Mark Hartmann. Either way, it will be a right footer, it seems. Chunbo just getting his wall ready, of course under the rules that were changed not too long ago. That ball can't be disturbed by United City players. It is going to be Mark Hartman. Over the wall and into the net. United City have hope. What a goal from the substitute Mark Hartman. Well, that's a way to give your team some self-belief. Just United City FC's second ever AFC Champions League goal. And it is one to enjoy. Hartman not opting to go over the wall to the keeper's right, instead goes to Guo Chunbo's left. And Chunbo had just taken a couple of small steps towards that right-hand side of the goal, which only left that left area all the more exposed, and Hartman found that space brilliantly. Super strike. And it's hard to say that United City don't deserve it on the balance of play, albeit that they haven't created a lot of chances. Hartman, whose long-range shot was saved by Guo Chunbo not too long before that strike, has now got his team right back in this. And that really is what you call having an impact from the bench. Hartman forward towards Schrock, who was buzzing around and still is. Dong clears. Beijing FC have sat noticeably deep since probably about the midpoint of this first half, and ever since have thus kind of attracted waves of pressure through sitting so deep, as Marinon now puts it in. Away by Yu Jun, but gives it away. They have struggled to keep the ball in this tournament. Just 29% average possession across their 5 games coming into this match. Had just 33% of the ball in this game, as Marinon nearly turns it in for 2-2. Instead, it will be a corner to United City, who have all of the momentum in this game right now. Can Hartman get an assist to go with that magnificent goal? His ball in, whacked away by PHI. That kind of sums up the Beijing FC thinking right now. Don't really seem to have much going for them going forward. It just seems to be a case of thump the ball as far away from our own goal and wait for it to get back towards us and then defend again. A real test of resolve for this young Beijing FC team. Lost by Schrock. Yu Jun. Winazari forced back. Dropping very deep to link the play. Minagishi. Schrock. Marinon. Can't quite find Schrock. Those two normally link up so well together. Now a real chance on the break all of a sudden. Long Ti Xuan has options. Goes the long way around. Finds the side netting. Really not the percentage play shooting from there. Next to no chance of scoring, but the goalkeeper Anthony Pintus having an absolute nightmare is probably the only way it's going to happen. As you can see, they almost double the pass count. United City past 400 now. Beijing FC only just past the 200 mark. Good interception from Yang Shou-wen, stepping up from centre-back. This is better from Beijing FC. They're going to need to, at the very least, keep the ball, if not create more chances and try and go and score a third if they are to win this game. Beijing FC playing on, despite the fact one of their players are down, so United City perfectly within their rights to do the same now they've got the ball. Minagishi. Balls for Marinon. Minagishi again. Good aggressive defending from Xu Dongdong. Quick throw finds Amin Adam Nazari. Minagishi. Marinon. Marinon almost got the return. And just lacked a bit of composure there, Xie Longfei. Had more time than he thought he did. There's no player in black anywhere near him. The game, of course, always looks easy from the commentary box. As you see, they're 2/3 of the ball possession in this match for United City. Schrott loses that one. And the corner narrowly avoided by Beijing FC. Seem to, for the most part, be in survival mode here, really. Good work from Marinon. Now Bugas. Shrug. Forward looking for the pace of Xie Longfei. Just couldn't quite get onto it. It was quite significantly overhit. United City chasing this equaliser. United City, who are set for yet another name change. They're only recently named as United City FC. That's set to change to United Clark FC after this season. So they've won 4 Philippines Football League titles, 1 United Football League title, 2 PPF National Men's Club Championships, the UFL FA League Cup, and also a Copa Paulo Alcantara title, which they won in the 2019 season when they did a domestic double. Had a very strong AFC Cup record. They found it very difficult stepping up to the AFC Champions League stage. The competition's newly expanded format this year, helping them to make it here. Tough group as well, up against Daegu FC, one of the really strong emerging forces in Korean football, and also Japanese champions Kawasaki Frontale. That's what you get in the AFC Champions League, the very best teams from the region. Competition split into East and West. Schrock over the dead ball. Fires it in low, and all of the Beijing FC defence had rushed up under orders from the centre-halves Liang Shou-wen and Ruan Ti-long. It's something they've tried a few times when defending set pieces in this tournament. When they rush out like that, it does put a certain amount of pressure on the assistant referee to flag for offside. And he duly did. Marinon. Well, that is a free kick right on the edge of the box. A great shooting chance here for United City, and in particular Mark Hartman, who of course just 8 minutes ago Scored a rocket of a free kick to make it 2-1. Had Ranti Long done that a few yards further forward, or further back from his point of view, it would have been a spot kick. Hartman unsurprisingly lining it up again. It would be a shock if it was anyone else to hit it. He's already got them back into the game, but this will be quite some impact to score. 2 free kicks within 10 minutes of coming on. Now, is he going to go to Guochenbo's left again, or will he go over the wall this time? Hartman to strike it. Hartman goes low, spilled, and he's bundled in eventually by Bienvenido Marinon. Beijing FC appealing for a foul. Marinon busy celebrating, and United City have levelled things up. The low shot from Hartman just too hot to handle. And initially, the follow-up from Amin Adam Nazari was saved, but then Marinon was in the right place at the right time. Guochenbo just couldn't quite gather it. Appealing for a foul, Beijing FC, I don't think it was. Oh, it's clever from Marinon. Just a little chip. He knew exactly what he was doing, and that's what it means to Peter with. A total contrast in emotions from what we saw earlier on in the United City dugout. 2-0 behind after 4 minutes. Now 2-2. Cheeky chip from Bienvenido Marinon. What a game this is turning into. They've still got plenty of time to complete the comeback. United City. Still got lots and lots of time, 20 minutes plus stoppages. Now it is Zoran Jankovic's turn to be a frustrated head coach in the dugout. Jankovic, former Bulgarian international, once played alongside Dimitar Berbatov at the UEFA European Championships, which of course are also ongoing at the moment. Finalists as if last night, with England seeing off Denmark, confirmed as being England and Italy in that one. Busy weekend of football across the globe as well, with an epic clash in the Copa America final, Brazil facing Argentina. Focus primarily, though, here on the Locomotive Stadium. Schrock doesn't have much support here. Stefan Schrock as well to keep it alive. Hartman fancies another go and flashes it over. Certainly not been afraid to try his luck from Lange. Mark Hartman tested Guochenbo even before he scored the free kick that got United City back into things. Unsurprisingly, in response to those 2 United City goals, it seems like Beijing FC are going to bring the changes very shortly once the ball goes dead. Schrock twisting and turning, still twisting and turning, gets the ball in. Well, one back by Amin Adam Nazari, just didn't quite get a clean connection on the shot. Nothing for Guochenbo to worry about too much. Sia Longfei is to be this second Beijing FC player who will get withdrawn. Here comes CHN. It's part of a double change as well. Ma Yu-jun going off as well. And Jun, who got the assist to make it 2-0. It is Chen Yanfu who comes on. Both players have got a bit of tactical flexibility, so it remains to be seen exactly what system Jankovic might be using. However, indeed it is 2 straight swaps, which could well be. Just trying to freshen up the midfield, which so often is the first part of a team that tires when the side is playing such regular fixtures as these teams have. And remember, it's not just the regularity of the fixtures, a group match every 3 days, but playing in very hot, humid conditions. Temperatures have always, here in Tashkent, Uzbekistan, been in the high 30s in terms of degrees Celsius, if not in the 40s. So that double change means Beijing FC have made 3 of their 5 possible substitutions. Still got 2 more up their sleeve. United City have made just 1, but what an impact that change has had. Mark Hartman scoring the goal that got United City back into this, and it was his free kick that led to the equaliser when Bo Chun-bo couldn't hold it. Just about kept in, nope. The whole ball's to go past the line. Zoran Jankovic appealing the decision. So from a one and only look up in the gantry, I think he may have a point. It's always a tough job being a referee or match official, and whether you are on whatever level of football, all the respect has to be given for the fact that it is they who make the game possible, have something of a thankless job. Rarely acknowledged or given the praise they deserve when having a good game, and making mistakes, then guarantee people will be noticing. Schrock. Trickery doesn't quite work for him there. Into the last quarter of an hour. Well, although it's headed to 2-2, no real change of tactics from Beijing FC. Still sat very deep, struggling when they've got the ball to keep it for very long. It is something of an onslaught of pressure now from United City. Couldn't manage a shot on target in the first half. They've already had 6 in the second. Schrock. It's a good ball in. Just suffered from all his runners going towards the near post. Cross falling into no man's land from a United City perspective. Hartman. Marinon clips it up, and Schrock concedes a foul for handball. He cannot believe it, Stefan Schrock. Replay will give us a better clue. Marinon and Schrock, who link up so well. Yeah, he seems to oddly sort of head the ball into his own arm there, Stefan Schrock, so it's an understandable decision. And a bit of afters starting here between Omid Nazari and Long Tishuan. Ibrahim just trying to keep things under control. It is something that referees think about a fair bit, managing the game, trying to keep players on the pitch wherever possible, also trying to ensure that players don't get caught up in confrontation, are focused instead on the game that's in front of them. Keep control and order over things. Speaking of control and order, it's United City FC who've got control and order over this football match right now. They've got it back to 2-2, and they're running the game. They've just got to see if they can make this pressure pay off. Minagishi. Wide from Kane. Minagishi again. Schrock. That is a needless shirtful from Minagishi on PHI, right in front of referee Ibrahim, so I'm not quite sure how he felt like he was going to get away with that. Minagishi there, just losing the momentum United City had built up. United City who drew 1-1 with Beijing in match day 1 and then suffered 7-0 defeat against Daegu on match day 2. 8-0 and 3-0, 8-0 and 2-0, pardon me, losses against Karasaki Frontale in match days 3 and 4. These teams have had pretty similar tournaments as a whole. 1-1 draw against each other, and then both of them since goalless and pointless in the 3 games that followed. Until this encounter today. Beijing FC started incredibly quickly. 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. They've shown us precious little going forward since. Maybe that can change here. Cross from Mohammadi. Now set back for Tichuan. Tichuan off the inside of the post. So close. And now here come United City through Schrock. Marinon leaves it for Hartmann. Will Hartmann go himself? He does! United City lead. Just moments after Long Tichuan hit the post at the other end. It is the hero of the day for United City, Mark Hartmann, on from the bench, who scores his 2nd goal to make it Beijing 2, United City 3. That was Tichuan. Mere inches away from possibly hitting inside of that post and it bouncing in straight up the other end. Beijing FC completely exposed. Hartmann had the option of using Bienvenido Marinon, thought about it, and then backed himself instead. What a breathless passage of football, and what a comeback from United City, who are now in pole position to get their first ever AFC Champions League win. It could well be that goal from Hartmann that secures it. Plenty of time for that to change yet, though. Beijing FC had shown absolutely nothing going forward in this second half until that moment. Hadn't even had a shot of any description or a chance of any kind. Barely gone anywhere near Anthony Pintus's goal with the ball until Long Tichuan so nearly put them back in front. And instead, moments later, Bo is picking the ball out of his net. He might be having to do that again here. As Bugas loses out. As he was pushed, there was some contact. Bugas again. Hartmann on a hat-trick. Omid Nazari. I just wonder whether that will change the pattern of this game. Will United City FC keep pressing high and attacking in the same way? Might they be of a mind to settle for what they've got? Schrock unable to win the throw. Substitution being made by Beijing FC, their 4th of the evening. Need you on. And the 5th as well, so something of a gamble, because it does mean now that were they to have an injury of any kind in these last 7 minutes plus stoppages, they would be down to 10. They've got to go for it now, Beijing FC. They've sat back not just in this game, but pretty much all tournament. They generally look to absorb pressure and play on the counter. They can't really afford to do that at this stage. Bit of space here for CHN. Some aggressive pressing just forces Beijing FC back. Mohamati's cross, touch over hit. So the second change of the evening for United City being made now. William Grierson, the centre-back, coming off. Jose Miguel Clarino coming on. Clarino might trade a defender, so very much a straight swap for Grierson in that back 5 that they've been playing. They've only got 3 outfield players on the bench today, United City FC, so haven't had many options to change things on the substitutes bench. Slightly overhit, but kept alive by Long Ti-Xuan. Scored that second goal to make it 2-0 in just the 4th minute. Doesn't that seem like a long time ago now? And the pressure valve just relieved by the free kick. United City will be in no rush. Clubs from 9 different East member associations competing for the first time. Actual ACL fact for this being provided by Neil. Got, of course, champions of the Philippines representing their country here on this continental stage for the first time. It's great to see football flourishing all across the continent. Of course, the West Games for the group stages done back in April, where 20 teams were whittled down to 8, and we're starting to get towards the sharp end of doing the same here in the East groups, which will conclude in match day 6, which for Group G has already happened yesterday, but Groups F, H, I and J will all happen across the next 3 days. Tomorrow the conclusion of Group J, and then Saturday Group H concludes, and on Sunday Groups F and I are all wrapped up. Winners of each of the 5 groups through to the round of 16, then the 3 best ranked second place teams of 5. Neither of these teams will be in that equation after just 1 point each from their first 4 games. This could be a proud moment in the history of United City FC, edging towards their first ever AFC Champions League win, but they've got to hold out here. Chumbo set to go long. It's come to that kind of time in the game.
fired back at him. Controls it well. Now can send it back from whence it came. Li Ju. That's a nice ball. Trying to pick the lock here. Ju again, loses out. Hartmann concedes the throw. That is a foul throw. Well, that is... Well, there's never a good time for one, but when you've got just 2 minutes plus stoppages or so left in a game to try and find an equaliser, that's a pretty horrendous time. Not what the doctor ordered for Beijing FC, who was so enthusiastic, charging around in celebration after those 2 early goals. Put them 2-0 up after just 4 minutes. And on fouled. He is in some discomfort. I dare I suggest with the game situation and the clock as it is, he's also not going to be in a huge rush to get up. Was brought down by CHN. Cross ball nicely taken down by Hartmann. Now he was fouled again. This is perfect for United City, exactly what they want. A booking as well for Beijing Mohamedi. The clock almost into stoppage time at the end of this one. United City are almost there. Just clip the heels of Hartmann, who's made all the difference since coming on. Scored that free kick to make it 2-1. His free kick was fumbled by Guo Chunbo, which led to Marinon's cheeky chip for the equaliser. And then Hartmann scoring on the counter-attack to make it 3-2 after Xuan had hit the post. Schrott going for the corner with 3 minutes added on at the end of this game. Hartmann with pretty aimless ball forward. We'll eat away a few more seconds. Hartmann's header. Instead it falls for Beijing FC to have one last go at an equaliser. CHN. Cross comes to nothing. Jin trying to win it back, instead hooked around the corner for Schrott. Stefan Schrott, man, he's been there for so many big moments for football in the Philippines across recent years, whether it be AFC Cup runs or AFC Asian Cup runs for United City FC, scoring United City FC's first ever AFC Champions League goal in the reverse fixture between these teams back on match day 1, or with the national team and they run to AFC Asian Cup qualifying, and then they appeared at the tournament in 2019 in the United Arab Emirates, scoring the national team's first ever goal on that stage. Looking to lead his men home here as Ran T Long is fouled. Sort of coming up. Foul not given, in fact. It's a corner after deliberation between the referee and his assistants. Guo Chunbo sort of joining in the box, but he won't. We're into the last minute, so it's that kind of time where you think, why not throw the keeper up? What's the worst that can happen? Doesn't really matter whether Beijing FC lose this game 4-2 or 3-2. Corner's a poor one. Doesn't beat the near post presence of Omin Lazari, but they'll get a second chance, United City. Here comes the keeper, Guo Chunbo, up in the box in all grey. Beijing FC throwing everything at this with time running out. Headed up but not away by Omid Nazari. And then wide from Ruan Tilong. And that might well be that. What a game it's been. Jiang Wang Hao and Long Tishuan's goals had Beijing FC in front by 2-0 in just the 4th minute. And then Mark Hartmann, the substitute, has really turned this one around. Referee Ibrahim has his whistle to his lips. And that is that. It's a first ever AFC Champions League win for United City FC. They've done it the hard way. They conceded after just 40 seconds of this match when Jiang Wang Hao scored, and they were 2-0 down when Long Tishuan scored in just the 4th minute. But that man there, Mark Hartmann, has made all the difference. His free kick on the hour got United City back into it and breached the Imperial Guard's defence. And then another free kick of his was spilled with 20 minutes to go, and Bienvenido Maranon was able to chip in the rebound. And then Hartmann scored what proved to be the winner 10 minutes from time to get United City a highly valuable, historic win. And this is their first ever AFC Champions League campaign. They now have a victory to celebrate. A brilliant game here at the Lokomotiv Stadium in Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Thank you very much for joining us wherever you've been across the globe. The full-time score from here: Beijing FC 2, United City FC 3.